Hey everyone, welcome to episode 35 of Pineapple Knits. I'm Marina, and you can visit me on Instagram and Ravelry at Pineapple Yarn, and you can visit my hand-dyed yarn company at pineappleyarn.com. Thanks so much for joining me this week. I'm so excited to be chatting with you again. It's been 2 weeks since I podcasted, and things keep accumulating, and I keep thinking I want to show you guys things, so I'm really happy to be recording today. My life has just been insanely crazy busy, and I did not have 1 hour to sit down and talk and record, and not even to mention editing the podcast. So I had to put it off, and this week I said, no matter what happens, I absolutely have to do this. So I am so happy to have a little bit of time to talk knitting. I normally upload once a week and just didn't. So this is a podcast mostly about knitting and spinning, and of course all the yarn and fiber that goes with those hobbies. But today I am drinking a really fun tea, a special tea that my friend Shauna from Adelaide Cottage sent to me. It's by Harney and Sons, and it's called Hot Cinnamon Sunset. It is so delicious. It tastes like a fireball, and so it's really, really spicy, and it just has a lot of flavor. I always put a little stevia in it just because it's delicious. But it was so sweet of her to send that and share it with me. And so if you're looking for a really spicy tea, you guys know I love spicy tea, but that is a really great one to try out. So I'm drinking that today because it's just kind of blustery out, rainy. It's not winter cold, but it's still cold. You know, I guess that's spring. I think it's supposed to be in the low, like maybe mid to upper 40s today. I don't know what that is Celsius. My brain is just not there. So Google it if you want. But anyway, it's gray, rainy, perfect day for some spicy tea. So that's what I'm drinking. And I do actually have a couple of finished objects to share with you this week. The first one I want to show you is my Shamrockin Socks. This is a really fun self-striping yarn from Kirby Wirby. And it is just so pretty with the lime green stripes and also the dark green. You've got like a pale olive green, and then of course the cream. I paired this with my colorway pineapple yarn in the Midas colorway, and I thought it was just a really great accent to these colors. Perfect for St. Patrick's Day. And then to top it all off, I ordered these awesome sock blockers from Marcia. She is Knitting Left on Instagram, and I think they are just the cutest. And I just thought it would be really fun to have a pair of socks or just a pair of sock blockers really to hang up for decoration in a yarn room. That was really pretty. I was kind of inspired by Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady, on her podcast. In her craft room and her yarn room, she has super cute wood sock blockers hanging up. So yeah, I thought these were fun, and then the cute shamrocks, and just kind of has all come together. But I knit these on a size 0, 2mm Addy, I guess an Addy Rocket Magic Loop, 60 stitches, and I did them toe up. And of course, since I was using yarn from Kirby Wirby, I also used her tutorial on YouTube for the best afterthought heels. I mean, these afterthought heels are just, it's the best. There's no gap here. They're so simple, and they're a really great way to put in a heel when you don't know what size, what foot length you're trying to put a heel in for. it's really a true afterthought heel. Anyway, I finished these. I wore them on St. Patrick's Day. They were very warm. Love them. This is the first time I have knit socks for myself in a couple of years, actually. I was thinking about it. I've knit adult size socks for gifts. I've knit my children's socks, which one of my daughters has several sizes larger feet than me, so there's that. And the second one is rapidly approaching. So I have knit socks for other people, but not for myself. So I was really excited to do that and yeah, get a project done. So that was fun. And I'm trying to think, I guess that's the only finished object I have this week. And I have some new cast-ons and I'm still working on some other projects. You'll have to excuse me, I'm very congested. My allergies have kicked up, so spring must be coming. I don't have allergies in warmer climates for some reason. I used to live in the South. I did not have allergies there. I did not have allergies when we lived in Hawaii. And I have allergies here. It's kind of bizarre, but there's something that grows here in the spring that really kind of gets to me. So my new cast on and my work in progress are these super cute socks that I am knitting for my 5-year-old daughter, who is such a girly girl, and she just loves these, loves the colors. This is Desert Vista Dyeworks, and the colorway is called Heart-Shaped Anemone. I believe that's what it's called. I'll show you the label here. But it has just been the perfect, just vanilla sock knitting. I have taken this to different appointments, and when I'm in waiting rooms, this is just perfect. And she's 5, so she's not huge. I'm pretty sure I'm getting to the end of this. I've obviously knit this toe up, and I will put in an afterthought heel, but I do need to check her foot size. Considering that my other daughter, who I just finished socks for, her socks were very snug, I need to make sure that these are going to fit. So there's that. But this is the prettiest yarn. I bought this on a D-stash, so I'm not sure if this is available or if it is the right season, because I know that in the Desert Vista Dyeworks shop, everything is kind of seasonal. It goes seasonal or it goes monthly, the availability of the yarn. So I was super excited to get this because these are so pretty, and I have had kind of, I mean, I don't want to say fist fights. It's not. It's sister fights, right? But my girls are fighting over this yarn. They all wanted socks that look like this. I don't blame them. They're super cute. But this has been my vanilla sock knitting. I'm carrying it in my Mrs. Brown's bags. Cute little project bag. Perfect for socks. I've really enjoyed this bag a lot. I love this. I bought this, wow, I bought this bag 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Anyway, so there's these, and I'm working on those. And any details about my patterns that I missed, because I know I didn't talk much about these, any details are on my Ravelry page. I've been trying to be so good about updating it, and I'm getting there. It's kind of a work in progress, but yeah, so if you have any questions about what I'm, the yarn, patterns, etc., just check out my Ravelry page. But I've been knitting on that. The next thing I have been knitting on is my Lunae Shawl. And I haven't made a tremendous amount of progress on this week. And it's because I cast on a couple of new things, as you do. But I hit the middle. So right here, this is so many strands of yarn. So this spot right here is the middle of the top of the shawl. So I actually made it to the middle. And then I believe this will be a mirror image all the way coming out this side, and this will be the top of the shawl. But I have just really enjoyed this knitting, or this project, so much. I'm using Knit Picks palette in the colorways, let's see, Navy, Cream, and Finnley Heather, I believe. Really great yarn. Non-superwash. It's kind of a woolly. I'll just go ahead and show you what it looks like. This is the Finnley Heather. It is a kind of a warm gray. And let's see if I can get it to focus here. There we go. You can see that it's not plied very tightly. I think this yarn, there's so many colors in their palette line. It's a fingering weight. I think it's specifically made for color work, and it has just been wonderful with this. I'm glad that I went with the Knit Picks. I think maybe like 2 podcasts ago, maybe number 33, I talked about my yarn choice with this shawl, and I'm really happy that I went with the Knit Picks, because not only is it cost effective, it's very easy on the wallet, but it's just a really great yarn, and there were a lot of colors to choose from, and yeah, so I'm happy I went with it. I cannot wait to wear this. It's such a beautiful, beautiful pattern. It's mosaic, so it almost looks like it's woven. This is really pretty, so hopefully I will get some more time with that this week. Now that I've finished my Shamrockin Socks, and I just kind of have my vanilla sock going. I don't really, sometimes I work on it when I have free time, but most of the time I just like to have a sock for car knitting or, you know, waiting room knitting, you know, those kinds of things. But the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is something sad that happened. Oh my goodness. Okay, so if you recall many podcasts ago, I knit a sweater for my daughter. It was a test knit for Tin Can Knits. Really beautiful sweater. And she loved it so much. She wore it all the time. All the time. And this is my second daughter, who is just such a fan of hand knits, and so anytime I make her something, she wears it nonstop. Socks, hats, everything. I have other kids who like that I knit for them. They might not use them as much. So, but you know, it's the thought that counts kind of thing. You know, this is my daughter who wears her socks, wears her hats, her sweaters, everything all the time. So this sweater was a color work sweater, and I knit it out of a non-superwash sport weight wool, merino. It was beautiful. It didn't bother her in the least that it was non-superwash. She wore it all the time. And so what I wanted to do, since she wears it all the time, I wanted to go ahead and wash it, and then when it was dry, just, you know, de-pill it. It has pills all over it, and it really needed just a little TLC because it gets worn so much. So I always hand knit I hand wash my knits, because I do, especially if they're non-superwash. And so I had a whole bunch of socks, and then I had 2 sweaters, and they're kid sweaters, they're small. So I was trying to cut corners with time because I really needed to get this done. And I threw them into my washing machine on the gentle cycle with, I don't know if I used wool wash or I used a very gentle soap, and on delicate cold, and they came out fine. No big deal there. So to save time, again, I put them into my dryer on no heat, which I'm sure you guys already know what is coming with this. Mostly everything was dry. It was still pretty damp. Some things were still pretty damp. So I decided to just throw it in on low heat just for a few minutes. That few minutes turned into more than a few, and her sweater, this was a size 8, completely shrunk to about I'd say this would fit a 3 to 4 year size. Yeah, it's completely felted. You can see how tight the stitches are. Obviously, there's still pills on it. I haven't done anything with it, but this sweater is completely felted and shrunk. So, yeah. I do have a daughter. It will fit. She's 3. But I really cannot believe I did that. It was just a really bad decision on my part, and I never do stuff like that. I'm usually so careful with my laundry, with my hand knits. Oh my gosh. So what are you gonna do, right? What did I do? My mom guilt kicked in, as it does, and I started yarn shopping online. And I bought her the yarn that she wanted, and I cast on for a new sweater, and here is her new sweater that I am knitting right now. This is the Starboard sweater by Alicia Plummer. I've made a couple of these. I've made them, oh gosh, I've made at least 3 of these before. And so this would probably be at least my 4th. I've made these for gifts. I've made a couple for my kids. This is just it's just a really great kid pattern. And I am using a Madeline Tosh colorway called French Toast, which I am in love with. It's so pretty. And I caked up all of my yarn because of kind of color discrepancies, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this is what it looks like all caked up. It is the best kind of quintessential girly color. It has bubblegum pink and these really pretty blues, some orange speckles. It has a couple of other darker colors in there too, darker colored speckles. But I think it is turning out really cute so far. She's loving the colorway, which is important, and it's superwash. So no more mishaps. But yeah, I didn't know what else to do. She really needed a sweater. She wears it all the time. You know, for most people, if they wear a jacket or they wear fleece, she wears her sweater. So it was really important that I knit her a sweater before it gets warm. And it was a good excuse to go yarn shopping and sweater knitting. You know, new cast-ons are always fun. But yeah, so I am using a needle size smaller than is called for in the pattern. I believe these are size 6, US 6. Yes, they are 4mm. And I'm just doing the stockinette all the way down the sweater. And this is the pattern, this has been around for years, this pattern has, and I think it's quite popular. So a lot of you who have knit sweaters for kids or have browsed on Ravelry, you'll probably remember this pattern, but it has the really, really cute pockets in the front that are angled. They kind of angle down. And so it's just really great for kids to put their little treasures in their pockets. And in my experience, the pockets have held up very well. So I'm not worried about putting pockets on a sweater because it's always just done really well. And this will also all have I think it's a garter rib or a garter edge for the neck. And yeah, so I'm just kind of working on that, chugging along. I just am in love with these colors. Now, the color, or the yarn, I purchased from, I think I purchased it from Jimmy Bean's Wool. And it was 4 skeins, and they're all from the same dye lot, but they are different, and that's just the way it is with hand-dyed yarn. And I will show you an example. I received 2 skeins that were darker and 2 that were lighter, and I'll show you the difference. These are exactly how they looked caked up. I could not tell the difference until I started caking them up, and so I am actually alternating every row, because I'm afraid that I will get one dark stripe, one light stripe kind of thing. But yeah, so I'm alternating every row. It hasn't been too fussy. I mean, the pattern itself is just so easy. It's so simple that I don't feel like you can really complain about alternating every row. But I really love all the colors in this. It is some really beautiful yarn. And I think this definitely could be the first speckle colorway I've purchased from Madeline Tosh. I think their tonals are so, so pretty, and that's what kind of made me fall in love with Madeline Tosh, is just the really pretty tonal layered colors. And so yeah, this is the first speckle. I'm really happy with it. And yeah. So we'll see how long it takes me. I mean, I've done this in less than a week. So I've come a long way. And so hopefully, I mean, maybe by next week I'll have it done, which would be so great. But that is for my daughter. And I guess it's just a really good lesson not to cut corners, throw things in the dryer that you should not be putting in the dryer. But hopefully she'll be okay with losing the sweater, because this was her favorite sweater of all times. She adored this. As a matter of fact, she actually asked me to make the same sweater for her again, and I just wasn't going to do that. So I'm gonna have to pass this on to the next kid. And so that is what I have been knitting this week. I'm working on a spinning project, but I actually did get a spinning project done. You're gonna have to forgive this label. It got ruined. I think someone was hungry or trying to eat it. I don't know. I don't know. It's called Jelly Bean. It's from a Southdown sheep, which I still haven't looked up to see what it was. But this is the way it turned out. And I think it's really pretty. I think it turned out really, really colorful and fun. I did I guess a chain ply. I wanted to do a 3-ply, but I didn't have a bobbin. Another bobbin to do the 3-ply, which I've since purchased, so I might get around to doing a 3-ply eventually. But this is so pretty and very close to a 3-ply. The colors are perfect for spring, I think. So when I had started spinning this, my goal was to spin it as thin as I could so I could make a pair of socks with it. It's a very woolly yarn. Well, that did not work out. And as a matter of fact, this was a really challenging spin. I don't know why. I'm sure it was me. But surprisingly, this chain ply hides a multitude of irregularities. I was actually very surprised how well it looked when I got done. I mean, I thought it was going to be so bad that it was going to be unsalvageable, and I'm not being dramatic by saying that. I really thought that. So I'm just happy with how this looks right now. and I don't know what it will become because it's not totally even. It's maybe a DK down to a, I don't know, sport, DK, weight. I'm sure there are thicker bits here and there. And it's just so woolly. I suppose I could make a pair of socks or just make like a really hard wearing accessory. Not sure. I loved this colorway very much. I still wish it had barber pulling in it. But I tried something new, so can't complain about that. But I'm glad I did have practice with the chain play, I guess, because I did get the hang of it. When you're plying that much, I guess practice makes perfect, right? But I did learn to love the chain plying. You know, it was when I started plying, the spinning was difficult, the plying was difficult. I don't think I was putting enough twist in my single. I went to ply with the chain ply. It's just the nature of the ply. You have to put a certain amount of tension on your single in order for it to pull through the loop. And if you guys are spinners, you've done the chain ply, you know what I'm talking about. But I had a lot of breakage. When spinning the single, I just had a lot of unevenness. So this will become eventually some kind of accessory, I'm sure. It's a beautiful yarn, beautiful colors, and yeah, but I'm not going to lie, I really am glad that it's done. But anyway, I want to show you, let me see. I wanted to show you a couple of acquisitions that I made. I'm sorry, you guys, that I am so stuffy. I'm actually having a little difficulty breathing right now, so bear with me. I wanted to show you this book that I purchased. I believe it's from the UK, and it's called Spinning Hand-Dyed Fiber. It's by Katie Weston, and it's a really cute, it's thin, it's not big by any means, but it just kind of goes through and shows you some different examples of fiber and how it's dyed, and basically how it will turn out when you spin it up. So it shows different ways of preparing fiber. It shows, yeah, it just kind of gives an overview of the unfinished fiber to finished product, and yeah, it was a really fun read. It was really interesting. I will definitely keep it for browsing or for reference, and I did take kind of an initial, I read it initially very quickly, and I'd like to go back through and read it again because it was really interesting. So if you are looking for something of this genre, I will put details below in my comments. But it was, yeah, it was a really cool book, and I learned quite a bit, so I was happy to receive that. And then I also wanted to show you my Paradise Fibers box, Fiber of the Month Club box for March. And what they did this month, and I just thought it was really fabulous, that's why I wanted to share it with you. They have an employee, her name's Barbie. I'll show you a picture of her because she's just adorable. And she has Down syndrome. And what they wanted to do is highlight Down syndrome and highlight this employee and just kind of, I guess, bring awareness to it. And I just thought that was such a cool thing. And I love when businesses just celebrate their employees, because it's so important to, I guess it can be really can be really easy to get wrapped up in like the numbers and the business side of a business. But your employees and the people who are in your business, that's who makes your business and makes your business strong. So I thought this was so cool that Paradise Fibers was taking the time to recognize her and to, just to celebrate her. I thought it was really cool. Anyway, this is what it was wrapped in, the box. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but it is the girliest tissue paper. Of course, the colors are so fun, but it has little sayings like love yourself and, you know, hello gorgeous. It's so super cute. So when I opened the box, of course, I loved it. And then I want to say too, I always open my Fiber of the Month Club boxes with my kids. They act like it's Christmas, and it's so funny because it's for me, you know, they're just so cute. Anyway, this was the first thing I saw, they saw. There was squealing, there was tons of excitement, and I'm sure you can see why. This is just the cutest little cellophane bag with unicorns and sparkle donuts and stars and hearts. So cute. And inside is this gorgeous raspberry color Angelina fiber, and it is so shimmery. It actually kind of has a purpley shimmer to it. So beautiful. So we all were very excited about that. And then there was this pouch, which was super exciting. And inside this is this beautiful raspberry colored top. And I think this is a merino wool. So there were 3 of these. There was this really beautiful pinky purple shade. And then they also included these 2 colors. And I think these are the colors for Down syndrome awareness. And so this yellow is just a really beautiful mix of lots of different yellow shades, which is so beautiful. And then the next, this blue, is again just a fun blue shade. So this was what was in the Fiber of the Month Club box. I was so happy with it, and just the sentiment behind it, and the recognition of a great employee and an appreciation for her. I thought it was so fun, and I thought you guys would be interested to see that too. I kind of have in my mind that I would love to knit a yellow shawl. Not a big shawl, just kind of a small to medium sized shawl, and have it yellow, which yellow isn't always the color I gravitate towards, but I have a couple of outfits that I would like a yellow shawl with. So I thought about maybe knitting or spinning up this and using it in the shawl. We'll see what happens. I would really like to get some projects off my needles before I start anything new. I get a little nervous when I have too many works in progress going on. So that's kind of how I'm kind of at the brink of, I feel like I have too many projects. So anyway, that is what I've been working on this week. I don't have any updates for my shop because, as you guys all know, it is closed right now. It probably will be for the next few months. I don't have a reopening date yet, but I will definitely keep you guys posted. If you enjoyed the podcast, I would love if you could like or subscribe to the podcast. It would really mean a lot to me, and I hope to join you again soon. And so until next time, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye!